Rama asked, how was it that the Vipashchit could not reach the skullcap of the universe, which Brahma, the creator, had created? Vipashchit, remember, had set out to experience as much as possible everything. He went to all four corners of the world. He explored the universe as far as the abode of Brahma, the creator. But he didn't go beyond the skullcap of the universe, or the skullcaps. The skullcaps are holding the celestial sphere in place. So Vipashchit is the desire for experience. Vasishtha replied, at the very moment he came into being, Brahma, the creator, pushed space apart with his two arms. That which was above was pushed far, far above, and that which was below went far, far below. So this is space. Brahma pushed space into being, and is still doing so apparently. The universe is expanding. Space is being created all the time. All the created elements rest in it, being supported by these two extremities. So everything exists within the poles of the celestial sphere. That which is between these two extremities is known as space, which appears to be limitless and of a blue colour. This is referring to the notion that when you look into the distance, you see blue. We're often told that this is an illusion, but it's clearly not something which is backed up with scientific understanding. But when you look into the sky, it is usually blue, isn't it? Water and such other elements do not taint this space. In fact, they are not in it. And in parenthesis we've got this comment, for space is independent of them and exists where one thinks water, air, etc. exists. These elements are but the notions that arise in others. So what it's saying is, space is space. There isn't anything in space. In this sense, space is the same as awareness. There isn't anything in awareness except awareness. There isn't anything in space except space. In awareness, though, we have notions. We have notions which we then think of as out there. So what we're being asked to do here is to get in touch with pure awareness once again, for awareness to realize its own nature. Vipashchit took that path in order to examine the extent of ignorance, and he began to investigate the stellar sphere. Brahman is infinite, and therefore ignorance of Brahman is also infinite. Ignorance exists when Brahman is not realized, and when Brahman is realized, ignorance is seen not to exist. However far Vipashchit went, he was still wandering in the realm of his ignorance. So no matter how much you're looking, you're never going to get to the truth. You're never going to find Brahman. Brahman is only when you get in touch with what is looking. So there were 4 Vipashchits altogether. Of the others, one attained liberation, another became a deer, and another is also wandering in ignorance. The 2 who thus wander in distant worlds are not seen in our consciousness. So they're out of the picture. But the one that became a deer is within the field of our understanding. The world in which that Vipashchit lives as the deer, after having wandered in distant worlds, is this very world which is in one distant corner of the infinite space of consciousness. Our whole universe exists in a little corner of consciousness. Rama asked, Lord, Vipashchit lived in this world itself and went away from here. How is it that he became a deer in this world? Vasishtha replied, even as one who is endowed with limbs knows them, even so I know everything which may exist in Brahman, as Brahman is my own self. The past does not know the future and vice versa, but consciousness which is not divided by time is aware of all this. In that consciousness everything is here, though to ordinary perception something may be far away. Thus I see the worlds in which Vipashchit wandered, and how he became a deer in this very world. In fact, I know where that deer is right now, O Ram. It is the deer that was presented to you as a gift by the king of the Trigarta. I think we have to view this as a plot device. The idea that by realizing the infinite nature of your own consciousness that you can acquire supernormal powers doesn't really hold together. It's been pointed out before that you cannot know the dream of another, and you cannot know the thoughts of another. It's like saying one side of a crystal can reflect the same as the other side of the crystal, even though they're parts of the same crystal. It doesn't work that way. But it's quite a good, we have to take this as a plot device, and it's in keeping with romantic notions about the power of the yogi. But we've got this extraordinary plot development here. One element of the story is being brought into the realm of the tellers of the story. Valmiki said, when the sage Vasishtha said this, Rama and the assembled sages and others were wonderstruck. Rama dispatched a few boys to go and fetch the deer. Seeing it, the assembly was amazed, and everyone exclaimed, truly, Maya, illusion, is limitless and infinite. So, the deer has popped out of the story into the reality of the listeners. This is rather like having Vasishtha knocking at the door of your room and popping in. It's a way of bringing the story home.